snuff out our whole legacy. There wasn't supposed to be any legacy, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing. It's the humbleness of being 49 that I'm like, yo, what's next for my life?
Right.
You know, what's the transition? What's the next step? Can it go any higher, or is this it? Right? So you know,
I feel like we all go through that too, because and we got to celebrate our birthdays together. You know, my birthday is in September, so let me know what we're doing so we can go up and enjoy. I feel like we all go through that too, and like, you know, you inspire me even when we out and we hang out. You know, you give me wisdom and you drop jewels on me, and I never take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like where I'm at, you know, I'm 29, I'll be 30 next month, but I feel like we always feel like, all right, what's next? And that's where I feel like that faith bag kicks in, and just knowing that God's seen the end before the beginning, and he knows, you know, he knows what he has. He already has your steps ordered. It's just staying positive and, like we said, doing positive things for everybody else to keep them inspired. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for inspiring me every single time. Like, I love it. And thank you again for even coming on here.
Nah, pleasure.
Very much well
appreciated. Even at the end of the day, even obstacles are blessings, right? Sometimes we go into situations and they don't work out, and we upset for the moment. But then you got to look back and reflect and be like, why did that happen? What's the meaning? You know, and you know, sometimes situations can save you. Sometimes situations can save you. So I kind of, you know, we have our moments where we get upset over situations like, you know, like dealing with divorce, right? Because, you know, we both, that's something that, you know, we both, I went through it, you're going through it. And so, you know, you look back and in the, you know, at the moment, it's hard. It's, you know, it's a lot, because you think about what you've been through with that person, all the time that was put in, the love that was put in, the energy that was put in, right? And then when it's over, right? It's like, what do I do with all this energy, all this love? And then you have to understand it. It's a process that you have to go through, where you got to really understand what happened. Where did it go wrong?
Right. So let me ask you this, because I ain't gonna lie, and I don't want to go too deep, but you know, we here. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I love seeing you in your situation. I don't want to say her name. I love seeing you and your ex-wife. I love seeing y'all doing videos. It inspired me, because I was single, you know, watching y'all relationship and just being like, damn, you know, black love is beautiful, and y'all were doing so much. What happened?
You know, in the beginning, you know, a person comes into your life, right? And the energy is it can be off the charts, right? And so when the energy comes, you embrace the energy because it's soothing, it's warmth, right? It's enticing. And then you also have your own energy. And so both of your energies, you know, they come together and they mesh and they match. It's an explosion. And we saw that, right? So we got together, and we got a lot of backlash in the beginning, right? Everybody was going at us. They couldn't understand it. And then it went from that to, you know what? They're kind of goofy together. I kind of like them together. And then by 6 months, they was like, wow, I kind of love this couple. And so it was a blessing when we got together, because we both had trauma in our history. We both grew up hard. We come from, you know, unstable situations. And so when you bring it together, and then it meshes, and then the masses love it, it's a great formula for success. It's like the underdog story, right? We become the underdogs, and then now people start to champion for us. They start to love us. And then, and so we were both in agreement into it. So we went into reality TV and we did it. But then I think that what happened was, as time went on, and that energy starts to shift, because now, if you're putting your best foot forward, and that's not really who you are, then it becomes a little bit of a battle to maintain that. Right. And so I had a part in it too, because here I was flowing in love, right? This was the person who I had feelings for. I was in love with her. And it was like, if we make this work and we become the ultimate success story, sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. And we were in that direction. Like, we were together for 3 years, and people see our lives, they saw our lives all the time on social media. You know, the flowers came every 2 weeks like clockwork.
Right.
There was the trips. That there was the lifestyle that we lived. It was lovely. It was great. But what happens is there's also a part that's reality. And with the reality, you have to understand that we got to maintain those lifestyles. Those lifestyles become very expensive. And so what happens at this point, now it becomes a team effort, because our popularity becomes so big that our kids are starting to look at business deals.
Wow.
So now this becomes where we can start to build some type of generational wealth, right? And so now it becomes all hands on deck. And I say this point to say that, so when you get to this point now where you can't fake it no more, right? And then this is the point where we need you the most, because now you are anchor. This is how we're gonna win it.
Right.
And then you don't want that. So when you don't want that, you sabotage the whole shit.
Wow.
And so now this is when I have to go into, I'm not in husband mode, I'm in survival mode. I'm in Raymond Santana mode. Raymond Santana has been fighting against the system for years, right?
Right.
Put out numerous try to get legislation, try to change laws, try to do a lot of things, travel on the coast across the country. So I've been known as a fighter all my life. And so now the reality comes to me, it hits me, and it says, all right, if I can't move forward with you, then what's the next thing I gotta do? That's
a fact. The plan B.
The plan B, because I still have a kid that I have to take care of, and those bills don't stop.
They don't. Them bills is residual. I always say that. They come every month, right, wrong, and indifferent.
But I started to see the behavior started to change. I started to see the shift in the energy. And so I knew that person was no longer with me, right? And so, I confronted that, I confronted my partner. I confronted her several times. And I said, look, I see it. You're not here no more. You just have to be real with yourself.
Right. Is this what you want to do? Are you ready for this?
And so, then came with, we had the conversation. We actually sat down, and because I knew already that I was being cheated on. I already knew that there was infidelity in the marriage. No matter what they said about me, I never cheated, right?
Right.
I never cheated. I never stepped outside of my marriage. And there was a lot of people that was in this circle who were there. They know the truth. And so at the end of the day, when you decide that you don't want to be a part of it no more, I gotta accommodate.
Right.
I'm an understanding person. I know what it's like to be in a struggle. I know what it's like to come from hard times. I know what it's like to fight, to be a fighter. And if this ain't for you, then it's just not for you. But it still has to move forward. And so for me, it wasn't no bad blood that we decided to go our separate ways, right? It wasn't. It became bad blood when when you start calling the police on me, right? When you try to call the police on me, when you take me to court, because now you think that you're entitled to some of my money, or you think that I owe you something, right? And this is all documented. I don't gotta lie. There was an actual court date. It's all documented. There's a police report. There's all that. And so now, when you decide that you want to go your separate way, and you want to go be who you want to be, I can't stop that. I gotta let you go. And so, and then it just gets bad, because then it's like I said, I had to go to court. I had to go to court, and I had to, because she wanted my car, she wanted money, she thought she was entitled to certain things, and the judge had to tell her, no, you're not entitled to nothing, because all this was established before you got here, so you're not entitled to anything. And then the tactics changed from that to when I became a narcissist, a cheater, and a liar.
You always go to that, and it's just like I always say, it takes two to tango, but the first, it takes one to know one. Yeah. And that narcissist word is always thrown out so frequently and so fast, it's not even funny. And for me,
I posted a video on my Instagram. You know, it was the interview that Earthquake did on the Breakfast Club. You know, I'm sorry, on Drink Champs.
Earthquake the
and then
comedian?
he stayed, you know.
Earthquake the comedian?
Earthquake the comedian.
Okay.
And he talks about similar situations he went through with his person and how, you know, for me, people wanted me to talk. People wanted me to say my story. Several people approached me about doing interviews, and I said no because, you know, where I come from and the stuff that I've been through, if I went on here and bashed her and called her names and said she was this and that, I would feel like a suck.
Right.
I would feel like a suck. I'm that, you know, I'm a man at the end of the day. You know, I have a daughter that's 19, right, who's in college. And so for me, I would have felt like a sucker to be bashing her and trying to sling mud. That's not my style, you know. And I just felt, you know, for me, it was nothing to say. It was just about moving on with my life.
Right. And that's a fact. But you know, one thing I learned, because I'm going through a similar situation, and you know, we've shared this, you know, in person before. That detachment process, no matter which way it goes, is always difficult. Especially if you're used to being with the person and you've seen the potential where it could go and the money invested and the time. And then now I'm trying to detach because you didn't want it. You didn't see the vision that I had. And you thought you did, but now you don't. Now you're gonna bash me. Now I'm a narcissist. Now I'm broke. Now this, now that. And it's like, what about all that prior when we first got together, when sparks was flying, we was traveling, we was doing his house, his cars. Everything was amazing. Now it's this. And
everything's amazing.
It's so disappointing. We all supposed to be adults and be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying? And I commend you for not even sharing it, because I'm learning, you know, I learn every single day. I'm still growing and coming into the man that I want to be and who God called me to be. It's tough because everybody has this narrative of what a man is, but we never have a safe space to talk about our emotions. It's always been tough from a child. Don't cry, suck it up. And then now you a sucker, or now we feel like suckers if we speak about it. That's why I want to talk about wellness overall. So men, we have a space to talk, and then we can hear a woman's standpoint and let them talk, and then hopefully in due time we come to a common ground and understanding, and we all grow overall.
100%. 100%. And that's why I said, you know, when you walk away from it, I walked away from it, you know, according to social media, you know, she got the bag, but that's not the truth. That's a lie. You know, she didn't get anything out of our divorce proceedings. She didn't get anything. She got to keep her last name. She got her last name back. And she got to keep, you know, she had a car or something that we had. But that was it. She didn't, you know, so there was none of that. Right. And so at the end of the day, you know, we walked away clean, but then there was the mudslinging, you know, where I became this narcissist, this cheater and this liar. And where she started to do all these interviews and go on these platforms and then start talking about narcissistic behavior. And then, you know, accumulated to me like, oh yeah, that's what I went through. And so it was that type of stuff that she was just, it's like, wow, you know, what can you do?
Just, you know what I'm saying? Less is more. I'm learning this now where I'm at. Less is more. and sometimes silence makes the most noise. You know what I'm saying? So, and then in time, when you at a place where you heal, then we speak. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, cool, I'm over it. It is what it is. And boom, it is what it is. Yeah,
and at the end of the day, I learned some great things out of my situation. You know, I mean, I don't have no complaints. You know, at the end of the day, I just know that my direction is forward. You know, and I'm showing my direction, and that's the direction that I'm moving. You know, it's more to life than a, you know, a relationship, a publicized relationship, because we do a lot of work, you know. And so, you know, in the beginning, people was like, you know, that's, you know, it's wrong. You need to speak and say your truth. And I was like, look, let me tell you one thing. I said, understand this. The exonerated five had beef with the president. Right? The current president wanted to give us heat. I'm gonna be real. Deelishis is not my beef. Below me, this beef me.
Right.
I'm dealing with real issues. I'm battling the president. I'm still battling people who believe that we're guilty. I'm still battling systemic racism. I'm still battling mass incarceration. Right? While I'm still trying to take a 19-year-old and take her through college and teach her to be a woman, or teach her, you know, to be a queen. You know, from a man's perspective, from a father's perspective, like I'm still juggling all these things.
Yeah.
You think that Deelishis rules my world? Like there's a no. I'm
No.
beyond that, man.
Right.
My life
The show,
is my life. My life.
the show still goes on. The show still goes on, and it's so crazy because I don't want to stick on that because I got a couple of questions, but I'm matter of fact, one last question, because this is similar to mine, and then we're gonna go on to the next. Do you feel like reality TV played a major role in the demise of the relationship?
Well, yeah, because you know, the pandemic. So we were both on the road at one point in 2019 when we first started dating. We were on the road a lot. And so we were making a lot of money. Life was moving very fast for us, and so when the pandemic hit, everything slowed up, right? And so for me, here it is. I'm on my thinking. I turn into I'm strategic. I turn into a right? As a man, we survivors, and so I go. We don't know how long this pandemic is gonna last, right? And then, mind you, that first week of the pandemic, I lost $60,000 in business, right? I lost $60,000 in business that first week of the pandemic. So here it is. I'm going, okay, we don't know how long we're going to last. So all this money that we're making, let's stack it.
Right.
For the long haul, because we just don't know. And the response that I got was that, no, this is a lifestyle. We're going to live it. And I was like, no. So I knew at that point, like, we had issues because one person was trying to stack for the winner and the other one was trying to show the wealth, right? And so, you know, that was a red flag that was already going to show you, like, there was going to be an issue. And and so that ties into your question of how that was influenced from social media, from reality TV. Right, I never was in this world, so for me, I stepped into it open-minded, and I was treated with a lot of respect and a lot of love, for the shows that we did. But I start to see how the influence is that strong.
Yes, very strong.
Yeah.
Wow, we gonna talk. We gotta talk. I'm gonna say something. I'll call you after this. But what I want to ask you is this, because I know your story and everything. And we talk. The movie When They See Us on Netflix was very powerful.
Yeah.
To ask you, do you feel like it was portrayed the right way?
Well,